Oh my, it's Kellee White.
Hey, it's James Van Praagh.
What are you up to?
Thinking about changing the world.
Me too. We should do a show together.
What would it be about?
Let me show you.
The James and Kellee Show.
I never grow tired of it.
No, if you're feeling down, you look at that opening and you feel happy.
Don always says to me, "Let me show you." I don't care what it is. Let me show you.
What are you doing?
Well, hi, honey. How
Hi,
are
honey.
you?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, like everybody else.
I think everyone's. I feel like I've been like a kickball, in the street, the ball and kicking around, and I feel a little battered. But I think everybody's going through the same thing right now, and things are hitting left and right. Things you don't expect, sudden things, the things people you'd expect, personalities you wouldn't expect in your life, and just situations that come up very quickly. And you?
Well, I had all the above. I think I told you Saturday, and I apologize for the people that I had to reschedule. I had to cancel my day. I'd never since COVID started have I taken a day off where I didn't, knew ahead of time. But I woke up with body aches. I woke up no fever. I woke up the fatigue that I have never had before. And I didn't know what was happening. And I thought, the only place I've been is Walmart. Did I get something at Walmart? Because, immediately everybody goes into their, it's got to be COVID, Anyway, it wasn't. I said, I'm going to sleep. So I slept all day. I slept until there was a knock at my door when Don walked in and said, I need to tell you something. Holiday, my daughter, Holiday, is at the hospital with our baby grandson, who's 4, and he swallowed a magnet. So it was in a deep sleep, and what? So we had poop gate going on all weekend, and but fortunately, everybody, he's fine,
Good.
and it was kind of out of the blue, out of surprise. It's one of those things. These energies are very intense, and I bet you many people out there are exhausted. Aren't everybody? They've got to be fatigued. I mean, I haven't felt that kind of bone fatigue in I don't know how long.
I've been feeling aches the past 2 weeks, aches, and literally, I think it might be arthritis or something. And I've taken naps during the day to feel better. And as you know, my daughter Maisie, my 4-legged creature, she had to go into the hospital because she had pancreatitis, which came up all of a sudden. And I feel that she picked up stuff from the atmosphere around her. She's such an empath.
Yeah.
And it was so quick and really interesting that she had to go into the emergency room of the hospital. She's okay now. I had a conversation with her, and she wasn't going to go. She was close to the edge of life, and I talked to her, and she said I'd stay. And then I brought her home yesterday, but I did a little healing on her on the way home, which is quite interesting. And
do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I've always done healings, but I'm not known for healing in the physical sense. But I've often done workshops over the years where I go into kind of a semi-trance state, and the beings will come through me, and I'll be directed. From what I remember, it's almost like I'm in another room watching it. It's a very typical trance where I'm in kind of a side room and watching what's going on, and I'm pulled, or if you will, magnetized to a certain part of the physical body or the etheric body. And I remember that I'll see disturbances through the body. I'll see energies which are thicker and denser, maybe around the throat area, or definitely in emotional centers in the gut. Well, a lot of it's in the gut. And I know I'm pulling it out, and I'll be aware of pulling out energies and letting the flow of the energy of the life force flow through the body and take away those blockages. And sometimes you'll reach some blockages that are harder than others, especially if it's in a strong emotional pain, which has been there for a long time. But I've seen that. And so when I worked with my dog Maisie on the way home, I'm driving with one hand of the steering wheel, and the other hand is working with her. And I was seeing clairvoyantly into the body, and I could see she had pancreatitis. And I could see that the pancreas was black and swollen and crusty and crud all around it. And we were able to pull out, if you will, those particles. And when I pulled the particle, I was aware of what the particles are made of. They're made of some emotional, some depression, other people's energy, some food, some fatty food she was eating, all this stuff. And I was pulling it out, and eventually just pulled it out, and it would go into the digestive system to poop at, which she did when she got home. And very interesting. Sorry to be gross here, but I was be aware clairvoyantly of certain particles. And then I did check the poop, and there were the particles. So it was pretty interesting. And I stopped when I knew that the pancreas appeared as a pink, light pink color, and I knew that it was okay then. And she's been good. She's been needed some sleep and some rest, and we both did. And but as most people here are watching, it was very strong ties with our animals. But we're very strong, her and I. So anyway, she's better now, and but it was a knock around. It was a tough one, and it's just tough. It's a tough one, and I'm sure a lot of people must feel this heaviness around right now.
Oh,
COVID started, this whole thing, political thing was going on. It's like
mm.
it's this heaviness out there, and people are getting mean and angry, and they're getting claustrophobic for staying in there. So a lot of this stuff is bouncing around. What astrologically, what do you see, Kellee? I know this week is a strong
Well,
week.
this is a strong week, and
Yeah.
today the moon goes into Aries. So
And what does that
Aries,
mean for people?
well, Aries is about themselves. What about me? It's
The
all
I
about
am
me.
sign.
It's
I
the
am.
I am sign. I
Yeah.
have arrived. I am here. It also can bring up some energy of anger and frustration. So this is a time to actually be as calm as you can, but it's also a great time to be able to set boundaries, which is what we all need to do, which is really important for nurturing oneself. If you were an Aries, what would you would do? You would take care of yourself. You wouldn't even think about others. And
True.
that's really true. This energy. Tomorrow the sun goes into Aquarius earlier than normal. Normally it goes in on about the 20th or the 21st. Tomorrow's the
Yeah.
19th.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah, and it goes into Aquarius, and that's going to be some surprising, some little surprise things because it's ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the planet of surprise. The sun going into that is going to make some change. Coming from Capricorn, it's going to make some change of just surprise is what I'm the way I'm viewing it. It's expect anything starting tomorrow going forwards.
Respect the
Expect anything.
unexpected.
Expect the unexpected. We still have these energies on the 20th that are very fierce, and they last basically the week. We've got several days of unexpected squares that are squaring off. We've got Mars and Uranus squaring Jupiter and Saturn in equal
Big time.
proportions,
Big,
which
big
is
time.
huge. And this means explosive. This means expect anything, times 10, and expect change. I'm going to say
And
there's going to be a lot of
we have the
change
inauguration Wednesday,
on the
right?
exactly
20th,
on the 20th, where these
which
planets
is
are like this,
and we've
squaring
never
off.
had, yeah, in the US, we've never had the National Guard in the Capitol like this before.
No,
It's
never.
very, very strange.
Well, and also today is Martin Luther King Day.
Yes, it is. It
And
certainly is.
so can you imagine, James? I always think, what in the world is he thinking right now?
Yeah. Yeah, him and the Kennedys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fascinating, what a time that we're in to be living. And I know a lot of people want to know how to start taking care of themselves because
And
this
so
is
that's
it.
that's what our show is about tonight. But also the one thing that we can start with is people often ask me, how can I change the world, because the world is such a state.
Yeah.
And I always go back to, you can change the macrocosm by first changing the microcosm. So you first got to change within yourself, your own
Right.
world, the life around you, if you will,
Yeah.
because that will feed into that macrocosm. And it does. It really does. I mean, I would not be here right now speaking to you if I hadn't been believing in myself as a medium in those days when no one was doing mediumship, and eventually change the consciousness of the planet. That was the plan. Supposedly that was plan, and it has developed that way. But it
Well, and
started.
let me just jump in on that.
Yeah,
If you hadn't done your work, I wouldn't have met you. We wouldn't be doing this work. I wouldn't be
exactly.
doing this work.
And a lot of people wouldn't have gotten into their spiritual paths, if you will.
Mhm.
So the
True.
things happen on a macrocosm. So you first start with the microcosm, and the intention is there, and you take care of yourself, which is what the show is about tonight,
Yeah.
self-care. And then, eventually you get this sense of who you are and loving yourself, and that will bleed out to others because they'll see who you are. They'll see how you behave in a
Yeah.
crisis or how you take care of yourself, and they want that. They'll want that. So it will reach those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And one thing you and I talked about early on today was we were talking about the unconsciousness.
This
How
was
the
great. You mentioned this, and this is really, really good.
well, the unconsciousness, if you're unconscious about something, it's going to get in your way. So, how does one become conscious? Well, you want to stay aware of what your behavior is. What are you doing? What kind of are you making good choices? That will start to wake your unconsciousness up. I mean, the unconsciousness will get us all in trouble right now. If you're unconscious about something, for instance, I know people that have been, go out, but they go to parties, they're having people over, they're not wearing masks. I think their unconscious is going to get other people in trouble.
That's, Debbie Ford talks about the dark side, the shadow
The
side.
shadow
You
side.
have to come into honoring that shadow side and seeing that shadow side right now in
Mhm.
this time.
Right.
And unconscious, the shadow side, are you going to just go with that and
Mhm.
not take care of it, have consideration, or be aware of it? And a good sense of being mindful. Wake up, basically. Wake up, wake up,
Wake up.
wake
This is
up.
the
Don't just
time
go
to
through
do
it.
it.
Wake up.
I mean,
Yeah,
really, it's funny, James, but this, year coming up and the year we just had, you would think that people would begin to wake up. And for some reason, some people are really resistant to that. But now is the time, as much as, we want this year to go through fast and we want to get through things. I think the reason we're here is to really wake up during
it's
this
to wake
period of
up.
time.
It's to learn. And I mean,
It's to learn.
if these extremes don't do it, then what will? So
What will?
it's time to wake up and take responsibility for yourself, for sure.
Right.
And
Yeah.
don't blame things on others. You have to make the choice for yourself. Your choices are made by you.
So
So
true.
it's very, very important. Eckhart Tolle has this great. He says, life isn't as serious as a mind makes it out to be, and life is a dancer, and you are the dance." Which is interesting. You're responsible for all the choices that you make. So you
Yes.
create the world around you, what you want. So you do it with yourself, your own choices that you made. So
Yes. I love that. I read this today, and I don't know where I saw this, but it said, be kind, be patient,
mm,
be accepting, be
mm,
all of these things for yourself. And that is where
true.
nurturing begins.
It's very true. It's true. It's very, very true. You got to take care of yourself. So
Yeah.
self-care is taking the time to care for self. And number one, again, what other people think of you is none of your business. So let that pattern go away because
Right.
that's not going to assist you.
Right.
You really got to be that beautiful star that you are, that you've come back. I always say that, the universe didn't just drop us down here with nothing. We are, each one of us, no matter how many millions there are,
Right.
each one plays a vital part in this journey for all of us. And what affects
Right.
one person will affect the others. So we've got to really recognize that we are special. We are something to be looked at and to take care of and to really.
I love that. And that's a great place to start with this, that we are each unique and each special.
It's true. We're
I
like
love that.
snowflakes. Each one is unique. Each one is
Yeah.
different, and it's that
Yeah.
diversity that makes us special. And that when you have everyone is so different. When you bring that all together, it makes a beautiful picture. It makes a beautiful space there for everybody. And we can't do it without each other. So we first got to take care of ourselves, and we'll help each other that way.
Right.
I mean, how many people have you known where people say, "God, I love her energy," or "He's so great to be around," or "Such a nice
Yeah.
person." That in itself is telling you there's an energy there. There's a sense of self-love that the person has, that they're sharing, that you really want. So the first step in self-care, I think, Kelly, is self-love, is loving yourself for who you
Oh,
are.
I love that one.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's number 1, actually,
mm,
loving yourself.
that's
And I
great.
would think number 2 after that is set boundaries.
Yeah,
Set
set
boundaries
boundaries. Very
for
important these
yourself.
days.
It's really important because, I know we're not all it used to be, just a few months ago, it seems that we could jump on a plane and forget everything and just go away and do this. Well, now we really can't. We're
No.
really forced back inward again to go back and do the work on ourselves. So, what's a good way? I don't know. What are some of the things that you do, James, for self care and self love?
Well, the number one thing which I do, which I've always wanted to do, is gardening. So I'm really
Yeah.
working with the garden, designed some gardens this weekend, and I went to a nursery today, and I was supposed to get one fern, and I ended up getting a whole bunch of stuff.
I
And of
think that
course, they
was
say,
so
"How did you
fun.
do that?" I said, passion. So
Yeah.
I love it because I can put things together and have fun with it, bringing them. They need a nice home, so I love that. I love that creativity,
Yeah.
and I love putting my imprint on the garden. The garden gives me so much back. I mean, there's so much love that goes back and forth. So I think creative stuff that makes someone creative, that really work on yourself and give yourself that creative space. Really do something. I heard something the other day, which I love, Kelly. It is each day try something new, try something brand new. Try something you're afraid of every day. Just try something brand new or something you're afraid of. Go for it each day. It's a great way to start to
I
do things.
love that. So try
Yeah.
something new
New
each
each
day.
day. Yeah.
And
And
it could be a simple thing.
a simple thing. It could be, I don't know, maybe not very social with people, but then put yourself, I don't know. Well, these days we can't be social, but I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you always wanted to do painting, but you never go painting. Go do some painting, or you
Mhm.
know, you want to always write comedy, write some jokes. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
love that.
Different
And
things. I went to audition. I never, I had no audition in years, and I wanted to audition. And
it's
I
right.
remember this, but what did I do? Shaved my whole face off and dyed my hair, and I was trying to be a 20-year-old, and I auditioned for this little shop of horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little shop of
Yeah.
horrors, and yeah, so it was fun. I didn't get the part, but the actual, the actual time of me doing it and getting involved and getting ready and prepared was the
Yeah.
fun. It was really fun. You put yourself outside the comfort zone. Do something that'll
Okay.
push you outside your comfort zone. I also
Yeah.
think, I just got this image as I'm speaking with you, Kelly, and about self care, and they gave me this image, and I remember. I'm sure a lot of everyone here would remember going back to school in school days when you were younger, and then we had to line up for whatever we had to line up for, some
Yeah.
assembly of some kind, and there was always a leader at the end of the line to help the people behind. Be
Yeah.
that leader. You're the leader for the people behind you. So, and they have to follow you. So make sure they follow you. You have good things that they can follow through with you.
I
You're the
love
leader of the
that.
line. The leader
Be
of the
the
line.
I love that.
That just came into my head. Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Well, and when we talk about self-care, that one of the first things you need to do is check in on yourself daily. How do you
That's right.
feel? Are you anxious? Are you tired? Are you depressed? Are you sad? Are you feeling good that day? I mean,
It's your
really,
emotional state. You're
what's
checking in
your
your emotional
emotional
state.
state?
Yeah.
Let's see, where are you coming from? Because during this period of time and for the next several months, there's going to be you'll be highs, lows, mediums. Oh, well, no pun intended. But everybody will be in a different state. And then I want everybody to ask themselves, what would make me feel better at this moment?
That's right.
What would
That's
make me
right.
feel better? Should I take a nap? Because this all goes to self-care. Should I take a nap? Should I make something to eat? Should I work out? Should I stop and have a cup of tea? I do that one a lot, James. I'm like really into teas now. I'll have a cup of tea. I make a day of it with my tea. I love my tea. I'll listen
Yeah.
to music.
I think that I've also, I recognize that today when because I've been aching lately, achy painy with some stuff. And I realized that as I look and assess the emotional state each day, which I
Mhm.
do, and we all should, I recognize that some energy is not my energy. It's other people's energy. It's foreign energy, the energy of the place, of the space, of the planet. I pick up on all that. So I don't want to make that energy my energy. It's someone
Okay.
else's. So I have to differentiate every day. What's
Right.
mine? What is not mine? And what's
Right.
important to me that day? What is important to you that day? And take time for yourself. Like Kelly said, take time for yourself.
Well,
Very
what you
important.
just said, James, is really important because you're talking about being an empath. So
Yeah,
empaths have picked up all this energy. And if you guys are watching the show right now, you're probably an empath.
without a
So
doubt. Yeah,
empaths are the ones that can feel everything when they walk in a room. They can feel everything that's going on. And as an empath, you have to figure out, as you just said, James, is this my energy? Is this somebody else's energy? Is this the world's energy? So, in that assessment of how you're doing, also assess for the energy. Where is it coming from?
Kelly, this goes right back to an example which I've used before, and it happened very early on in my readings when I did a reading for a lady in my very early on in my apartment in LA, and she came in, she knocked the door, she came in, and well, when I looked at her, her auric field was in rips and tears and holes, and it looked like Pigpen from Charlie Brown comics.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, and she sat down and she said, what's wrong with me, James? What's wrong with me? I'm depressed. I can't sleep. I feel angry. I don't know what's I'm out of sorts. And I looked at her and said,
Wow.
it's not what's wrong with you, it's who's wrong with you. Whose energy are you holding on to? And she was an empath, unaware of it. She was unaware of it. And I started pulling out other people's energy from her space, her kids, her people at work. And within 5 minutes or 7 minutes, she said, are you doing something to me? Because I feel like my old self again. So we can be sponges, not realize it. So it's very good to assess yourself emotionally. And at
Uh-huh.
night, I tend to assess myself. See, did I pick up anyone's energy? Was I talking to somebody on the phone? Was I have a meeting with somebody or Zoom
Right.
somebody? And I will send back those particles of energy that belong to someone else. And
That's
it's
a
really
great
interesting.
idea. A
Really, really
great
interesting.
idea.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Wow. It sure
Yeah.
is because you're right. Sponges. We're all sponges right
Sponges.
now. I
And
mean,
you mentioned this earlier, Kelly. I think it's with self care. It's important. You mentioned this. You do this. Sleep. Get enough sleep. I take naps now. I was never a nap person. I take naps all
right.
the time now because it's a universal way of saying your body needs rest. Your
Right.
body's like, give me rest. So I do
Right.
naps. I do a lot of naps.
Oh, I
I
think
love
that's
naps.
a great one. Also, here's another one. Plan time for yourself. Especially, I think it was
Right.
Wendy Colony, I think, sent me an email today, and she said, "What do I do for mothers that work? How do we nurture ourselves?" So I talked to my daughter who has children who work, or she works, and she said, Mom, she said, you have to plan. You have to plan really well. You have to plan these things. So you have to plan either to have your husband or somebody watch the kids that you trust, and you have time off where you take even 2 hours for yourself or an hour for yourself, just as my daughter said, to sit back and eat Cheetos and watch TV. It doesn't really matter, but planning is
Right.
really important for self-care. If you can plan out some time.
And another thing, which I'm going to go off your Cheetos,
Yeah.
is and I started this January 1st. I started, but it hasn't gone well because of all these crisis things happening. Eating right, try to eat
Yeah,
right. So try to do something different with your diet. More vegetables, more fruits. That's
right.
what I'm trying right now. I am enjoying it. I'm having a hard time with sugar. It's a tough
Is
one.
that your culprit?
Sugar. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, sugar's a tough one for me. I have a
I
tough
know.
time, and it's just it's like a dessert. That's not like a candy bar or something. That's it. I don't need a lot, but even alcohol has sugar, so you gotta be
Oh,
careful.
yeah.
Wines and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah. I've
It's
had to watch that one, but I
yeah,
tell you what, in my tea, I often put some hot toddy stuff in there
that's
because
good.
that helps. There's some great supplements that are out there too that actually are pretty cool. One of them is, have you ever taken this, James? Ashwagandha. Are you familiar
No,
with that?
no,
Ashwagandha.
no.
It's an herb used in Ayurvedic medicine to treat stress and anxiety, and it's an all-natural supplement.
Ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha.
Okay.
Ashwagandha. So that's one. Another one is kava kava, which
Yes.
I've never taken. Have you ever
Oh,
taken
kava
that
kava is
one?
good. Oh, yes, of course. Kava kava relaxes you. It's a beautiful relaxation, and it's a gentle relaxation.
It's a
Yeah,
gentle one.
it's
That's good.
gentle. Kava kava is very good, gentle. They have believe it or not, they have in candy bars now. They do. I don't understand that because they have sugar in it. Kava kava. Kava kava is good. It's like catnip. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, and by the way, watch your caffeine. If you are stressed with anxiety, watch your caffeine. That's another way to
Yeah.
nurture yourself. Be careful with
Yeah.
that.
Don't take a lot of caffeine. Don't. I mean,
No, no, no,
it's gonna
no.
get you shaky and it'll yeah.
God. One of the things I do too, James, is I love to light a candle.
Yeah, you told
Lighting
me
candles.
earlier.
I
I like
love it.
that. I
I
like that
love
a
it. The
lot.
smell. Sometimes Don hates the smell, but I just love it.
And I like incense. I'll sit in a room and do incense, believe it or not. And I just sit in the room. I play music, and I have incense burning. And I'll sit in my backyard and look at the garden, and I just relax. And it's my time.
Well, let me ask you how you do that. The reason what I want to know is how do you say to the world, I've had enough right now and I need to do self-care? Tell me what your process
Well,
is.
I canceled my soul care during the day, which I did this morning because I
Yeah.
needed self care today. So I canceled my show, which I never like you. I never cancel anything. Actually, I canceled Saturday and Sunday. I had to cancel a workshop I had because I wasn't up to it. I was not
Yeah.
up to that level, and I can't give it out. If I don't have it, I will not give it. I can't phone anything. It's got to be
Right.
100%. So I felt only fair to reschedule that, and I needed time for myself. I needed time for my situation with my doggy, and I needed time for myself. Like this afternoon, I needed time for myself. So that's what I did. And it was great when I had no phone calls, I had no meetings, and
Right.
nothing, just to be with me. And, that's really important. So I turned my phone off, is what I do. I turn my phone, and as the past year, I try not to use my phone as much as I have. I really don't. I don't want to be hooked up on devices. I've never liked devices, but I'm trying more and more not to use devices. Everyone else
Right.
does. But I
Right.
don't, I'm not as, I don't have to, I'll get the phone. Oh, it's run out of power because I haven't charged it in 2 or 3 days.
Right.
I'm not getting married to it. I'm not thinking about it. It's just taking so
Right.
much energy and time, and I don't
It
want to do
does.
so.
It does, but you
So
have to be conscious about doing that. You have to say, "No, I'm gonna turn off the phone, set it down, forget
you
about
have
it."
to be conscious of it. You have to.
Yeah. And that goes with consciousness again.
And people like to fill their lives up with things to do. You don't need to do things. You really don't. Things will take care of themselves in time. You don't need to do it all at once. So
Right.
let go and let God. Just you need
Right.
to well, everything in life should be moderation. It shouldn't be extremism. It needs to be moderation. That's really, really important. The middle ground.
The
So people
middle
have
ground.
asked me, "Do you drink? Do you have coffee?" Yes, I'll some drinks. I have a couple of glasses of wine if I'm going out or something if I feel like it. But I don't drink all the whole bottle. I just or coffee. I have one cup of coffee, or and like I said earlier, the sweet. I have like one cookie, not two, but moderation in everything in life is a key. I think it really is.
And give yourself permission. For all
Oh,
of us that are like workaholics or have problem, give yourself damn permission. And if you can't, send us all an email and I'll say, "Yep, take the day off." I mean, I
it,
did that with you, or I've done that
yeah,
with Don. I'll do that
yeah.
with, I just don't think I can work. Well, cancel the day. What? That's like a foreign concept.
That's hard for us, us worker bees. It's hard. And for me, it was really hard to say, I
Yeah.
can't do this. But I got to a point where I was like, I cannot do this today. I just can't. I don't
Yeah.
feel it. I'm not into it. So I cannot do it. So you got to be honest
Yes.
with yourself. And
Yeah.
the people that you're working with will appreciate it because
Yeah.
they're not getting the full you. So it's
Right.
really important that we do that. I watched something on TV. I think also, depending on who you are, a good self care I like to do is watch comedy on television. I'll watch a
Yeah.
movie that's funny, or I'll watch a documentary, or I'll watch funny things on television. I love it.
Yeah.
And lately I've gotten into not funny, but car chases.
What?
Sorry. I've been watching car chases. Sounds really weird, but
Really?
I've always been into true crime. And then, because psychologically, it fascinates me the mind of I was a
Right.
criminal, or how could they, or someone kill somebody? How could they get into
Right.
that? So I'm like, wow, I just it stirs up my mind. These psychologically, these people, how do they think? How do they roll? So lately, I've gotten into car chases. Just YouTube went on the car chase, but and it's like, wow. Of course, you got to speed it up a little bit to the end because it's gonna happen. But
Right.
it's also a boring another block, another stop sign to go through. But it's fascinating to me about how people do that, how the humans can do car chases, and what that's the whole thing is about. But it's the way my mind relaxes, really like, oh wow. And but comedy is it. I love to laugh. I think laughter is healthy for us. So things that are healthy. Put your mind, put your eyes, put your ears, things that are healthy that bring up your spirit, bring you up to a higher level of happiness and joy and relaxation. You
Right.
know. I,
Martha Lopez says we were watching Naked Gun just now. Comedy helps even dumb
it's
ones.
great.
So
Naked's got a
true.
great. It's such a great one. It's a great
That's a
one.
good one.
And
Oh,
I dance a lot. I'll dance in my house. I'll put music on and dance. I swear to God, I'll put I will put music on and I'll either cook with music or I'll do the dishes with music. And I do turns and whatever. I sing. I'll do some singing.
I love
So,
it.
oh, you have to have amusement with yourself. You
Right.
gotta amuse yourself. The
Right.
world's a very hard world. It's a tough place out there. It's a
Yeah.
hard school. And I thought about this today. It's a really tough place. This world is really, really hard. We talked about it.
Yeah.
And so if you can bring some levity into the hardness there and realize, you're just visiting this place. This is not gonna you're not gonna stay here. It's just a visit. So remember that perspective. Have a visit. Don't get so caught up in the stuff every day because it
Right.
doesn't mean anything really. It's how you
Right.
react to it is really what's important.
Right. So
It's really,
true.
really
That's so
important.
true. It is such a hard school, you know.
It's hard
Oh,
school.
Christina Bevan says Seinfeld, old reruns. That's me too. And somebody wrote Schitt's Creek, my
Oh,
favorite
the
of all
best,
time.
the best,
You
the
too,
best.
James? I
The
love
best.
Schitt's Creek.
I think I turned you on to it,
Uh,
Kelly.
no, I told you
You
not to
turned
it.
me on to it. I knew it was somewhere. You turned me on to it, right?
I
Yes,
love
that's the
Schitt's
best.
Creek. Oh my god. I told you the story where I was at a party at Christmas
Yes,
time 2
yes.
years ago.
Tell
2
everybody
years
this.
ago, I'm at this Christmas party, and the waitress comes over and says, "Oh, can I take your order?" And I look up, and I was with Dr. Shirley and Pellizzeri at the time, and Shirley and I both look at her, and Shirley goes, "She looks just like," and I said, "No, she is." And she was the real woman who plays the waitress in Schitt's Creek. Twyla, it really
Right.
was her.
And
It
she's
was
the sister of David, the guy,
yeah,
yeah, of
it's
Eugene
so
Levy,
funny.
and yeah, this is Eugene
I
Levy's
mean,
daughter.
one of these fun things to do too is during this period of time when you're nurturing yourself, sit back and think of some of the really funny stories you guys have had because everybody has had some good laughs, good stories, good moments in their life. I mean, as tough as this world is, we've all had moments of some extraordinary experiences. Think about this is the time to sit back and think about them.
And Kelly, I found for many years now, I do journaling. So we sit down, journal, and
Yeah.
write exactly what you're going through. Write all your
Yep.
thoughts out in a journal. I've come up to some journals I found 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Like, wow, my life was so different then. But I have all of these situations that I wrote about, which I would have forgotten about if I didn't write them down. It's like, wow,
Oh,
that's
that's a
amazing.
brilliant idea. Or to
Yeah,
write things
write
down.
things down. It's
And
really important.
what's important about that statement too is right now these energies are fierce. And so
Fierce.
what will happen is you may forget a dream, you might forget a thought, you might forget where you put something. Start writing things down. That's actually a good thing
You
to do
you
for
might
right
forget
now.
what day it is today. Yeah, well, that happens.
Exactly. Kim Ad Snodgrass says this energy makes me feel like I'm slogging through molasses.
It's a good.
So
That's a
true.
really good analysis of this. Very good. The energy is very. It's exactly it's molasses. It's exactly right.
Oh my God.
And be
It's
patient with people. You know, got to be patient with
oh
yourself and other people because I know from driving around, some like are very very slow or again unconsciously driving a car, and so you got to be patient with people because don't do road rage. Just do just the
no.
opposite because they're unconscious. A lot of these
Yes.
people, and now it's time to be happy and to help these people because we're all in a tough time right now. So show the opposite. Be nurturing. Try to help people.
Yes.
Be kind to people. Now's the time to do that.
Be
Dolores,
kind.
Dolores Cannon. Dolores talked about her last
Love
week.
Dolores
He wrote down
Cannon.
a couple of things here, which I'd like to mention. He
Okay.
said, when you are not losing your mind and you are calm, it doesn't matter what you do. People will see that in you and seek in you because they don't know what to make out of their seeing. And you may not know what to make out of what you're seeing, but you have been prepared. So, as I said before, live what you want to show people. You're worthy of
Yes.
loving yourself. You've done great things in the past. You'll do great things in the future. You're doing a great thing now. All will be revealed to you. You are divine. Rejoice. So
Oh,
don't
I
forget
love
who you
that.
are. Don't forget your perspective.
Yes.
Very, very
I
important.
love that. I love
And
that.
one more, if I could read from White Eagle.
Please.
White
Oh,
Eagle was
my our favorite.
our favorite from Grace Cook was a medium in England in the 30s, and this was one of her guides that came through called White Eagle, and some White Eagle incredible books that you can buy.
Yeah.
One of the sayings White Eagle says, "But when you do fall down and everything seems chaotic, remember that there is a helper by your side. Your guardian angel has seen you fall, but he will not condemn you. He does not say, 'I told you so.' Instead, he whispers into your heart, 'Courage! I will help you rise again. Look up, look out. God is still in his heaven and all is well.'" Great.
I love that. And look what came today, James.
Oh, fantastic. Everybody should get this book. That came today. Wow.
Today.
Wow. It's a great, I recommend that as like number 2 on my list, Spiritual Unfoldment 1 by White Eagle. It's
Yep.
incredible.
It's
Simply put, beautiful words, get you into the heart space right
yep.
away.
It's just
Spiritual Unfoldment
beautiful.
number 1.
And I
That's right.
got this because I heard you talking about it. You've always told me about White Eagle. In fact, you gave me my
I,
first White Eagle book.
I thought you would have had that book. I would have sent that to you,
This
Kelly.
one I did not have. So
I should have sent that because you sent the egg book to me. I should have gotten the White Eagle book so we have the same theme. Oh, here's a good one, Kelly, too.
okay.
This is really good. Ask for help and accept it when others offer it.
That's great. Ask for help now actually is a perfect one out there. It's a great one to
Because
do
people
for
need
right
it,
now.
right? One,
Yes.
it may be tricky for someone, however, no one accepts you to deal with whatever is going on in your life alone. If you're experiencing stress or worry, it can help to talk to someone about it, whether that be a friend, a family member, your doctor, or a counselor. So Kelly and I talk all the time about that. So,
We
Kelly, I
really
need
do.
help. Yeah, really. Because you have to have someone to throw this stuff at because Kelly and I will often
Yeah.
on the phone. I was like, what's going on? I don't get
What's
it. What's
going
happening
on?
here?
Yeah. And we try to balance each other with this.
It's
We
true.
really do. And I mean, what can I say? It's just a time. We all get through it, but it is a time period
Yeah.
that
Should we take
we're
some
in.
phone calls from people with
Yeah, let's take a phone call.
self-care and self-love?
You bet.
Okay,
Renee,
so
Renee's
hi
here. Hi,
everyone.
Renee.
Hi. So we have Janine. Janine, I'm bringing you into the show.
Hi, Janine.
Oh, can you hear me?
Hi, Janine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Thank you so much for your important work. It means a lot. And my question is, I welcome any recommendations for my optimal health and healing, including as a brain tumor patient.
Well, hi, Janine. I know that you have written to me about that before, and I know that I have not gotten back to you yet on that. But James, what do you think for somebody who has a brain tumor, I believe you've had 3 brain operations. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And where she had to stay awake during the brain
Oh, God
operations.
bless her.
And so I know that Janine, you and I once talked about somatic experience for trauma, and I do want to get back to you on that. But James, do you have any ideas when you talk about with healing for oneself? You know, in a situation where she's got a brain tumor and that is inoperable.
It's inoperable. Okay. What first comes to
Portion,
mind? Sorry, honey? Yeah.
a portion
A portion.
can be removed. However, I have a vision that perhaps it can diminish. I don't want to focus on that 100% though.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, sweetheart. I have this on my list of things for self-care is talking positive to yourself, talking to your self-care, self-talk, and positivity. And I've done that before, and it's worked. I mean, self-care with self-talk, positivity talk, and visualizing the diminishing of the tumor. That definitely helps because it's a bit visualization. And I don't know if I could think of it, I would, sweetheart, but there's got to be organizations that talk about self-love, self-care with visualization. So that I'd recommend researching that. There's organizations that will do meditation organizations, and they focus on visualization for health. So it'd be in a health group. I'm sorry I don't have the name of it right now, but I know they exist, and it's groups that get together in a health crisis, and it's all about meditation and visualization and self-talk. Exactly that. So that's what I would do. I would look at those organizations. Yeah.
I know all about that. I'm focused on integrative cancer care for the whole person. I'm just wondering, do you see anything in me, James, that would give me guidance from the other side or on this side?
No, I'm going to tell you, I'm just, if you continue what you're doing is great. And I just want you to focus on yourself as far as seeing yourself healthy. And if you want to go really into exploring the beginning of where this came from, I think that'd be very interesting to go back into your childhood and go back and I have a course called 28-Day Transformation Course in my school. And it brings you back to your childhood, and it's emotional stuff that's going on in your childhood, what we hold on to, why we've come in a certain way we have, what are the lessons we have to learn. That stuff I think would really benefit you really well, Janine, to explore and discover what you came in for. What did you carry in with you? What do you have to karmically to learn? What lessons do you have to learn? I think a self-discovery would be a perfect way for you to go next. That's what I would do if I were you. That's one 28-day transformation course is one, but there are probably several others out there if you want to research them. But I think that's what you need. I think something with the discipline of self-discovery. I think that will help you to understand it better.
Thanks, Janine.
Thanks
Janine.
very much. Sweetheart. Okay. So
Jane or Renee, is there another phone call, Renee?
Yes, we have another caller.
Okay.
Let's see here. Lou Christensen. Lou, I'm going to bring you into the show.
Hi.
Hi, Lou.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you do very well.
Actually, my name's not Lou. My name's Elizabeth.
Okay, I just have to say something funny. My mother's name was Lou, and I said to myself, "Okay, Mom," and then you said your name's not Lou. That's hysterical.
Your mother gets through any way she can.
My God.
What's up, Elizabeth?
Yes, I know. I mean, I had to first make sure it was me. If it wasn't for the tone, I wouldn't know. First of all, James, I love you so much. I think you are the biggest thing of love, and I just love your books, and I love everything about you. You just radiate love.
Thank you.
And I enjoy you so very much.
Bless you.
Kelly, I don't know you as well, but thank you so much.
I feel the same way about James.
Yes. I've been going through, just to not make it too long, I've been going through about 2 to 3 years right now. Very stressful because I lost both my brothers in this time period unexpectedly, especially the second one. And I am trying to take care of the estate of the second one who passed away unexpectedly in June. From a distance, I'm living in the States and I'm taking care of the estate in Canada from here. Now, you'd never know you could do stuff like this. but I
Elizabeth,
am.
hold on one second, because of course, you're exactly what you just said. You never know you can do this until it happens, and you push to doing it, and you can do it. You know, God only gives us what we can handle. A couple of things I need to find out, please. Number one, was one of the boys' brothers died from an outside influence, like drugs or something outside, or someone else?
The older brother that died first was from Lyme disease.
Okay.
The
Okay.
second brother, I don't know. They found his body,
I feel heart attack.
and
I get heart attack with him.
that's kind of the picture that the coroner gave me, because they could no longer do a toxicology because it was that far gone.
Right. And do you have a sister
The
also?
main thing is
Is there another sibling you have? Do you have a sister?
no,
No, you're the only one.
just the
Okay.
two brothers. But
Okay. Again,
I'm the only one. My 95 and a half year old mother is still living. That's the only other one. So
Okay.
this has been very rough for her as well.
and honey, why is it that why are you taking care of the estate? Why do you have to take care of it? Is there no one else in Canada to do that?
Because my 95 and a half year old mother can't do it.
So your brother didn't know anybody or has? Oh, see, so he left it to the family. I got you. Okay. Okay.
I'm
All
the
right.
only other family member, but it's kind of a case of where you just
Do it.
it's not a case of can you do it, it's how do I do it.
Right.
And I'm almost through it. James. I'm almost through it. And it has been very stressful. I mean, you would think at the time of COVID, and that's the big stress. This has been a lot.
Sure.
But I'm almost through it. And I'm just wondering, sometimes my older brother appears to be in dreams, and he's always in a hurry and going somewhere or just something. He's never like just coming slowly through. But I'm just wondering, is there anything I need to be doing for both their peace, or anything I should know at this point? Anything that would be...
Let me ask you a question. Have you had to speak to where they work? Who had a job at an organization or a corporation or a place? Did one of them have a job outside? I'm sorry?
No, the older one did his own thing and had built his own house out on a property and done incredible stuff in his life, and was basically a self-made man. And the younger one was basically, he had chromosomal difficulties and emotional difficulties, and lived very isolated by himself.
Yeah, he didn't want to come in this time. He didn't want to be born this lifetime. He didn't want to go. He did not want to come in the time he was supposed to come in. He didn't want to. I tell you, this feels like a lot of hesitation when he's coming into the body, when he has to be born. I feel there was a lot of hesitation around his birth. Got to tell you that. I don't know if he was a surprise baby, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of hesitation with him. I feel like, I don't know which brother this is, but I feel like there's money owed to one of them. And just to get a sense of, find out where the money is, or there's some money that someone owes them, or I don't know, they gave money to somebody, but there's money that's owed. Otherwise, I feel that you're going to be fine with everything. Maybe it's even tax money. I don't know. It's money owed to one of them. And the other thing was, you'll be able to do it, but I want you to be able to, like we talked about, ask for help. So if you need somebody in Canada who can help you, whether it's, I don't know, a friend of theirs, someone, or a banker, or whoever it might be.
I have.
Okay, perfect.
I have.
Perfect. You're in.
I've surrounded myself with can-do people, and it's just moving forward from this place. Yeah.
You'll do it, sweetheart. You will do it. I think they're very proud of you, both of them. I think your older brother's helping the younger brother out quite a bit. I think your younger brother was a bit creative too, but he wasn't able to express it in this lifetime. But he'll be able to express it on the other side. And I think your older brother is also very psychic. I think he comes to you all the time. I think you're very psychic. You're very in tune. And I think they're guiding you, or he's the older one's guiding you. You're guided. So don't worry about it. Who was a secretary in the lifetime? Who was a secretary? Were you ever administrator, or office administrator, or someone was a secretary?
Nope.
Okay. He gives me a sense that you're a secretary. You're like the administrator here. So you're going to be fine. You're going to do everything right. You cross your T's, you dot your I's. No better person than Elizabeth than you. I think you'd be perfect. You'll get through it, honey. Just take time for yourself too, though, like we talked about.
Thanks very much. Thanks,
Thanks,
Elizabeth.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Okay, honey. Lots of
care.
love.
Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you,
Blessings.
honey. You're welcome.
Blessings.
Okay.
Thanks.
One more, Renee?
Sure. Yes. We have a gentleman from Poland. His name is Marvin, and I hope you pronounce his name right. Let's see.
It's Marjana. It's a woman.
Oh, Magenda. It's
Marjana.
Hi, Marjana. How are you
Marjana.
tonight? We hear you. Hi.
I am fine. Thank you very much. I just wanted to ask about the situation that is happening globally all over the world right now. And I find that there's a tremendous value, spiritual value, in that situation.
With COVID.
Mhm.
Okay.
And if you could please turn down the volume from your computer because we have a feedback.
Yes, I am turning this down because I've never used this phone.
Okay, thank you so
Kellee,
much.
you want to answer that first?
Let me hear the rest of the question. So yes, what was?
Is it opening us spiritually? I would think she said. I think she said is I guess is it's COVID she's talking about. What are the spiritual attributes to this? Is that what you're asking, Marjana? I think that's what she was asking. What is spiritual
Okay.
attributes?
What I'm sensing about the situation is that instinctively that we should not allow the world to transform us now, but we should be the ones to transform the world instead.
Okay. Well, let me start with this that we were talking about earlier on, James. You had talked about
Changing the
starting
microcosm.
changing exactly what changing ourselves first. So it really goes to what you're saying
You
that
first
it's
have to transform yourself before you change the world.
exactly
And transforming yourself, that will change the world because they'll look at you and they'll notice some change. And energetically, you're changing the world by changing yourself first. So we are first responsible for ourselves for that transformation. And in doing that, we will change the world. And that's how we change the world.
well, and also we're headed really into this age of Aquarius right now, which really is about transformation. It really is about changing yourself and the world. So you're right on track there.
And I
So
wouldn't get caught up, Kellee, and Marjan, I wouldn't get caught up in they got to change or that's going to happen. I really got it on ourselves and change our own little microcosm before we change that macrocosm. Because to change the microcosm, you're going to draw more people into that energy field of the same vibration, and that will change. That will change it. You know this. You're just confirming what you know.
yeah.
Thanks,
All right.
Marjan.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your call, sweetheart. Lots of love, sweetie. Okay. And we have some call. I think we have some comments here too. We should get some comments here.
We do.
How do people deal with wearing masks? How do people deal with people who won't wear masks? We just talked
We
about
were
this.
just talking about that. Thank you, Amanda Jones. Well, you know, I get angry.
I get angry. I just told Kellee before the show that I was driving my car and I saw people walking in together without masks on. I just want to put the car to the side and say, wear your mask. It's not for you. It's for us. And that's really, I haven't gotten to a situation where people are not really wearing masks when I'm walking. I've been wearing masks, but if it got to a situation where they were not, they should be wearing a mask in that situation, I would say something to them. Because I don't think it's against people's free rights. It's not about them. It's about all of us working together.
I walked into a store around here and I said I needed to pick something up. I won't say what it was because it will identify the store. And there was a person in there without a mask, the guy who owned the store. And I said, are you going to wear a mask? And I didn't even say it nicely. And there was no nice about it. Are you going to wear a mask? And if he had said, and he looked at me and he goes, okay. Then he put it on and then I continued in.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, I have become this hyper vigilant, grandma out there. Put on your damn mask. Pull up your pants. Oh my God. Let's see here. I love that question. Connie Fogel says it's all about all of us. That's true.
It's about all of us, not about themselves, but all of us. It's very, very true.
I love that. Mary McCauley says people who refuse masks are selfish. I agree.
I was just reading that, Mary. Yes, I agree too. Yes, very, very true. Kellee, you're available for private readings for people, right?
I am available for private readings at kelleewhite.com.
Yeah, and I have people on my website, vanpraagh.com, that are mediums, that are incredible mediums. And there's a great psychic on there named Caroline Mumolo, who she's
great.
She's great. So she does card readings, and not tarot cards, but just regular playing cards. And she's in New York, and she's been doing it for many years. She's in her 80s, and she's incredible. So
and you've known her. How long have you known her?
Well, I was almost born in her car, so that's a whole other story. But yeah, I've known her a long time, 60 years. So Yeah, she's an amazing lady, an amazing woman.
Wow.
And
And so
yeah,
accurate.
so accurate. She told me actually literally the words that someone was going to say to me, and a week later, those exact words were said to me. Like, whoa,
That's amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Wow.
natural good abilities.
I
Yeah.
love that. And I think you've got something coming up, right, James? You've got what is it coming
Well,
up?
actually, my school, we're doing a life coach. So one of the most popular courses that we've had when I first started the school 4 years ago is the spiritual life coach course. And it's a full course. It's not your regular life coaching course. It really is about, got 70 different training videos I do. And it's all about breaking the blocks and the patterns that we are born with, that we keep on building up through our lives instead of, and the negativity in our lives and letting negative people in around us and the choices that we make. So it's turning pain into power by discovering the uniqueness of yourself. And it's also infusing your life with work and passion, and also using the spirit world to assist you. And it's seeing another person as a spiritual being have this human experience. And it's a great course, a spiritual life coaching course. And it's a good course. People should, if
A
you're interested
great
in that,
course.
helping someone
Yes.
on a spiritual level, seeing them as a soul, not just a human, but as a soul, diving into the patterns. And we teach about clairvoyance and seeing them. So that's right now is the big one we're selling right now. It's up for sale. And we don't do these all the time. So this is once a year we come up with a course that really we want to push.
James, Debbie Rodriguez says, is this a live school class or a pre-recorded class?
No, it's pre-recorded, but we do live calls. I do live phone calls like this. So we have most of the courses on training videos that I put together, but then I also will meet you online with Zoom. We do Zoom calls.
I think it's a great time to take that now.
Yeah, so there's a J for School Disc class. It is. That's why I did it, because I thought it's a great time for people to realize that and help others in
Right.
that way.
And that's something that can be a passion of yours. It could really help you pull out of the energy right now and really start focus on you.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly. I always say it's heart to heart. So when we do, like when Kelly and I work, or we see people and ask questions here, we really go to the heart of the matter. We tune into their heart,
Yes.
and the emotional level. And really, that's the phone calls we've heard so far. I tune right to their heart space. So in the course, I
Yeah.
teach that also, tune to the heart of the matter, heart of the
Oh,
matter.
I love that. I love that. Cesar Rodrigo says, hello from Mexico. Oh, I miss Mexico. My
I
grandma
miss
is a
Mexico.
fan of James. Somebody wrote earlier, they said, is James going to be going to Tahiti soon?
I
Can we
wish.
go back, please,
Can we go
God?
back to Tahiti? That was a
Oh my
great,
God,
great trip. It wasn't a great
such,
trip.
such a great
I think
time.
that's the last time I went. You were with me the last time,
That
I
was the
think.
last 2016. That was the
2016.
last time we were, and the last time we were in Europe was 2017.
Wow. Wowee.
Hard to
Wowee.
believe,
I
unless I
saw
think,
those pictures of us, yes, and I think it was
oh,
in Greece or Italy or
yep,
someplace.
so much fun. Oh, Debbie Rodriguez asked a great question. She says, James, what class do you recommend to do first?
It depends on what your passion is. So, and someone asked about the 28-day course. Diane Rinaldi said, is it online? It is online. So if you want to go to JVP School of Mystical Arts, there's a whole listing of each course. There are 40 different courses. Some are for a day, some are a weekend, some are 6 months, some are about a year, most, several months. So I would go on the page and look at each course and read at the description, because they have a very thorough description of what they're about. So
Yeah.
there's so many different courses there. It depends on what you feel you resonate with that you need now. But that 28-day transformation course
Yeah.
is an excellent one. That's a really good course.
That's the one I tell a lot of my clients to start with when they
You
don't know
change.
if they're starting a new journey and they don't know what. And I always say, start there with this one, because I
Yeah, when
think
I brought
that's,
that through, I channeled that, and the spirit said to me, my guide said, you need to tell the participants in this course that this is a progressive course. And I'm like, what does that mean? And they said they need to do it every single day because it builds on the day before.
yeah.
And that's what happens. So you have to take it every day, 15 minutes a day, a half hour. That's it.
Right.
But it's time to give yourself. But I love progressive courses because you
Oh,
don't
I do
forget the
too. It's
information.
so great. And you're building on each one.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
So
Joanne Wilson says, we will all be so grateful when life gets better, but let's be grateful now for what we do have. And that's the best self-care ever. Right on, Joanne.
exactly,
Be grateful for
exactly.
whatever is going on, because some
Very
good things
good,
are
Joanne.
happening. Very good.
I mean, we have a lot to be grateful for. A lot of
Yeah.
us do. We really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true. Boy, oh boy.
How do I
Uh,
get a reading, Mary Lloyd? You get a reading on my website, vanpraagh.com. There are people on my website do. I don't do private readings anymore, but the people on there do, and Kellee White also does. Kellee, you're booked up quite a bit now, I'm sure.
I am, but you can go to my website and choose a date if there's one that works for you. Absolutely. Um, let's see here. Oh,
Thanks, Maria.
and on February 27th,
Yes.
I'm doing Bad Siblings.
I'll be there.
So you're going to do a meditation.
Yeah.
Because come on, who among us has not had a bad sibling? I'd like to know.
And you've had bad mothers, right?
Bad mothers,
Bad
bad
fathers.
fathers,
Now bad siblings.
and now bad siblings to tie it all up.
And it's also from a psychological point of view, isn't
Yeah,
it?
psychological and spiritual, both.
And
We're going to look
spiritual.
at both ones, and we're
And
going to look at
therapeutic.
therapeutic. We're going to look at personality disorders with them. We're going to look at birth order. Birth order has a lot to do with it.
Say this, Jesse. Kellee,
Birth
should
order.
write birth order. That's really important.
It really does make a difference.
There's a book called Life Before Life. Have you read that book?
I love that book.
Life Before Life is a really good book.
Mhm.
And then it talks also about when you come back into the body, what the situation and scenario is with your parents. What emotionally is going with your mother, father. Did the father and mother really want you? Did they not? Was the father absent? It's really interesting. So
And you know, James, there's studies now that say the father is almost more important than the mother at the time
Really?
when this happens, when the time the woman gets pregnant and is pregnant. Isn't that interesting? Because
very
sometimes the thought is, oh, it doesn't really matter, but in actuality, it matters in a huge way.
And I don't know where I get this from. Maybe I'm just channeling this right now, or I remember from that book. But I know that as souls, before we come back into the body, we look at, of course, the courses, the classes we're going to take. We're going to learn our karma to other souls, our soul group. And you might say, well, I'm coming back with this father this way. He has this a sense of he can act out this way, or there are certain abilities he has. I'm going to help make these abilities come to surface, or whatever it might be. And you think that in the spirit vibration, the dimension, and then you get close to the earth vibration, and then you get into that body. It's like, and you're just about to be born. Oh God, no, it's real. It's real. The first 2 or 3 years, you're like, oh, it's real.
It's so true.
And we go through what's called the valley of forgetfulness, so we forget what really that part of it until we go through the lifetime, because we go through that. Often I say it's a grace from God, because we came back knowing the backgrounds of these people or knowing our past lives. We might be so obsessed with our past lives or the way these souls behaved in other lifetimes with us that we won't do the work in this lifetime. We won't take the classes and be present. So it's really interesting. Just
and
be
I
yourself,
always
you know?
be yourself. And I always tell everybody, you signed up to be here during this time.
Yeah, it's very
We
true.
all wanted to be here, so we can complain or we can have positive energy. Learn to nurture yourself. Take some of these ideas that we've given you today and go nurture yourself.
And laugh at yourself. Just laugh at yourself. Somebody just poked me. Somebody just poked me on my arm. Oh my Lord! I thought it was my dog. My dog's sleeping. Okay. Wow.
Was it my mom? Was it your mom?
No, I was a male figure, I think.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that was weird. Wow. Okay.
That is weird.
Wow. So one thing I want to talk about, which did I mention this before the show? I was just in the garden today, and I was planting, and I'm backing my truck out to remove it from the garden to go back out to the garage. And I knew of our show tonight, of course, and what we were talking about, and immediately I got the word, I look at the garden, harmony. And that we come into this world where we're in harmony. When we come back into the lifetime, we are in harmony. And we forget about that harmony. And we get caught up in the drama and other people's stuff and what we mean to other people. And we forget about ourselves, and we get in disharmony. And the secret of self-care and self-love is to get back into harmony of self. Harmony.
Oh, I love that.
Really,
I love
harmony
that.
of self. I like that. Harmony. So treat yourself with the harmony, you know?
Yeah.
Big harmony, big balance, and have fun.
That's great. Oh,
well, thank you, Kellee.
Thank you, James, and thank you,
everybody.
Renee.
Thank you, Renee, very much.
Thanks,
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us. And we'll be back. And Kellee, I think you'll be next, or I'll be next. The Soul Care next Monday I'll be doing. But you're
I'm there Thursday, and you're Monday, and we'll be back again on Monday. And see everybody later.
Great. Thanks.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
The James and Kellee Show.